Hello, 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 hello. This is eBlack with eblacktv with a Black Afternoon conversation. If you're new to this channel, please check out the many of playlists that I have. This is the Black Afternoon conversation in which we kind of discuss little topics and we talk about things that I see. Nothing too hardcore, but it's good, fun content, relaxing. If you're at work today, listening, please make sure you hit the like button. Of course, subscribe. If you didn't know already, we have a membership on our channel. This is on YouTube. So if you'd like to become a Black Pride member, please check it out. There's a ton of behind the scene footage that I put on my content that I think a lot of people will enjoy. Sometimes I put some petty stuff, sometimes I don't. I don't know. It is what it is. But anyways, uh, today is talking. We're going to be talking about a particular subject within Edward Anderson had. How do I say? He had inspired this kind of conversation. I started seeing a growing trend in regards to content creation. He went on, I think about 2 days ago, and he said, there's anti-manosphere content creators. There's people who are in this particular space who complain about this space, and their main content is that. Or how should I say, there's men who capitalize off, say, particular talking points and things, and then they say, you know what? Hey everybody, that was fun for a while. We've struck gold. I'm fine, and then we end up leaving. And I say, I've seen a number of content creators do that. I can name 5 probably off the top of my head in regards to content creators who start off with, say, a Kevin Samuels talking point, or uh, just maybe some type of content that they've seen on Fresh and Fit, and then they react to it, and then they do it for maybe a month, and then for whatever reason, they say they have to make a public announcement. I'm no longer making Black Manosphere content. I'm gonna make my regular stuff, and I call cap. I'll call BS, because what they end up doing is the same thing over and over again. It is the it is like it's almost like a stripper saying, "Hey, I'll never strip again because I've made enough money off of it." It's one of those things that, like I said, I don't buy it. Once you've done it, you might as well keep doing it, and if you do it, you don't have to announce. That was another thing that I kind of noticed, that they have to make this grandiose exit. Like I said, I've seen every single one do it. This stream, I'm no longer making content about this. I'm no longer making content about Black women. And then they end up complaining about how the people in the space. And like I said, this was inspired by Edward Anderson, because what Edward was saying was really unique in regards to the fact that he said, you know, what why announce it? Secondly, are you just doing it for the clout? You know that this space is popping, or the space is popping, and you're just using it, and you really don't care about Black men. And that's another thing. The people who I have on my mind are Black men themselves. I can understand people saying, much like a gun advocate, a person who owns a gun, saying, you know what, I don't deal with them nutcases over at the NRA. I can understand that. And I can understand that. But you know, what I've seen is just an intentional way of just saying, hey, acknowledge the fact that I have a different opinion, and these dudes are loony. These dudes are incels, and it's like, okay, you're cascading a whole space into one clump, and you're going back to simping to women. Basically say that. You know, me in particular, I when people ask me, "Oh, are you consider yourself a black manosphere channel?" I say, not in the traditional sense. I say that I'm a black man who wants to see black men in charge of the company, lead. I want to see masculinity in its highest form, make changes in this country. Does that make me a black manosphere guy? No, but I think for the most part, when it comes down to it, I can agree on certain things. When I first got introduced to the manosphere, I was mainly looking at a number of content creators who were at that time. This was probably around the time Kevin was going up and the Peef was going up. I enjoyed the space because it was debate style, a lot of debate, facts, figures, numbers, just proving points and stuff. Now it's more a little bit more entertainment. I think a lot of podcasters are using they're calling themselves a man space, but putting women in front, which is fine, but they're using that as a way of saying, well, we're a men's channel because I get to complain to women. I don't agree with that, but like I said, I'm not the gatekeeper of the manosphere or any other black pill, red pill type of content. I think for me in particular, when I think about manosphere channels and the reasons why I got into it was mainly because, like I said, I could talk about how to get out of this situation. And how do we do that? By making more money, changing your appearance, talking to each other better, collaborating, dealing with other men who have like minds and who want to see and getting away from those who have dysfunctional minds and stuff. So these type of individuals, like I said, these are the individuals that I kind of follow. I don't trust me, there's a lot of bad content creators. I don't follow none of them. I don't follow none of them. But the ones that I do usually center around that type of either a debate forum or they have solutions to problems and they're not necessarily complaining channels. Uh, Even though sometimes every channel has a way of going into the quagmire of misogyny and feminists and all that stuff. But I think for the most part, if you find that yourself a channel that truly, 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 truly reflects your values, I think that's fine. But let's be honest. There's this group of, I would say, black manosphere people who are, I'm sorry, I did not drop the link. I apologize. If anybody wants to join the conversation, this is not just me making a thing. I'm actually waiting for a couple of people. So give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. So like I said, I think there but a lot of different content creators that do a couple of things, and that's fine. If that's your cup of tea, a lot of people see this as entertainment, and if they're entertaining you, they're entertaining you. But once again, what I've noticed, what today's focus was going to be on, or is going to be on, is the anti Black Manosphere channels. Hey, Pretty Red.
Hey,
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me. I've
yeah,
you've
I'm
you've
up here
helped me
for a
out.
bit.
Yes, that's good. Me too. But like I said, uh if you're in it for the entertainment, which is fine, but what I've noticed is the anti Black Manosphere channels kind
Mhm.
of, that's all they do is they pinpoint how they're better than the guys in the Manosphere. And I'm kind of like, okay, how is that a content strategy?
Right. Well,
You know,
it's working. From what I'm seeing, it's hey, hey, it's working. I
Yeah.
mean, especially amongst the ladies, I think more women are kind of attracted to the anti-manosphere panels or channels because it goes against it, especially when people correlate Kevin Samuels with the manosphere, you know, all the talking points, manosphere's talking points and passport bros and all that kind of stuff. So it's working for them. I mean, they're
Yeah.
pandering to their audience.
Yeah, because especially over the last week, I've seen.
Hmm.
I'm like, I'm trying to tell people it's like, I got into this because of the community building.
Hmm.
Whenever you talk, I'm from Oakland, California. I tell people all the time, my background, I can do male development stuff. I've done that for a large part of my early life.
Hmm.
I don't need anybody to tell me, you know, I can't do it because I like a particular light skinned girl. But
Wow.
but but
They dragging your girl.
they are dragging Amber
They
Rose for
dragging her, baby. Oh,
God. I think at this point she's
I mean,
trolling.
at
At this point,
no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Not at all.
oh God, okay. But
I
but
don't
either
think she's trolling.
but either way,
I'm
either way.
sorry, E. I'm sorry. I know your feelings is hurt.
Leave Amber alone.
I forgot you like the Who's.
I do, I do, I do. I do. I'm sorry. You know, I mean, we're literally arguing about the power of P. I mean, like, come
You
on,
know what?
Fred. Like, you can't
Okay,
say, "Oh, eBlack likes one thing," and then we're literally seeing over the last week and a half, different panels talking about,
I
"Oh, what
think
is the true power of P?" And it's like, we know what it is. We know.
I
We
no.
know.
See, that's the thing. See, I'm gonna break it down Friday though. See, everybody. See, okay, so what? Okay, from what I know that started this whole conversation is the Trill thing, right?
Yeah.
See, I understand where Trill and the married folks was talking about. And
Hmm.
see, that's what I'm gonna break down because I think the misconception is the only P word that they were thinking about was the PUS, is that part, the poom poom.
Yes.
But it's more to it than just the poom poom. And that's the part that they were missing. I caught it, but I don't think they caught it. They were just focusing on the poom poom.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird.
Well, and that's the thing. But even still, I mean, come on,
It's a
man.
dumb.
Like,
It was such a dumb conversation, though.
but
Like,
yeah, but
how
but
do
like
you have pushback with that?
yeah,
How do you have pushback with that? I don't understand.
and I agree, and that's where I'm kind of like lost in this conversation. But like I
Mhm.
said, you know, I believe that you know the s- being able to have an anti position towards a baseless argument is
Mhm.
is fine. It's fine. You
Mhm.
you can react. You can have your pinpoint. However, I think for the most part, I think hardline manosphere people are being subjugated for every word that they say and every person who says something.
Yeah.
I don't really think that's fair. You know, and like I said, I wouldn't consider myself manosphere, but I also understand the power of men talking out situations, and even amongst my friends,
Yeah.
we're going to have disagreements about how we run our lives, you know, like
Yeah, I agree.
like
And
like like I got to, and then not only that, after a while,
mhm.
after a while, after a while, with age, it changes too. When I was younger, yeah, I wanted younger,
Mhm.
hotter. When I got older, I couldn't. I had to have talents and skill and abilities,
Yeah.
and I had, and as I
Yeah.
even now, even though I'm married, I'm pretty sure now I couldn't deal with the same stuff that I dealt with as a 25-year-old, or 30-year-old. So
Mhm.
I just can't see the correlation between, I don't. I think it's not fair to really. I think people do not. How do I say? People are unable to separate the different levels of manhood development or male development, and
Yeah.
and then basically throw it all in the same pot. The stuff that I
Mhm.
have the stuff that I was saying to my excuse me, the
You
stuff.
got COVID. Don't be having no
No,
COVID.
I had a Zumo. It's spicy,
Mm.
but 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 the stuff that I used to tell, like, say, my 19-year-old nephew was different
Mhm.
from, like, what I'm telling, say, my my brother-in-law who's
Right.
20. He's getting older, and he's moved in with his girl, and they're working it out and having children now, and
Mhm.
and he's like 26, 7ish. He's getting older in
Uh-huh.
age,
Yeah.
and the stuff
Headed
that
for
I
30s.
yeah. And then, like, I was talking to my cousin out in Tennessee, and we had a situation where we talked down, and he was dealing with some stuff with his woman because he just got out of jail after
Okay.
doing a 17-year-old 17 beer bid
So they're
17
like in
years.
different stages in life.
Yeah,
So it's a
and
different message with every, stage.
it's a different message, and I think
Mhm.
a lot of times, like I said, the content creators, they're just so amped to say, well, I'm leaving the black manosphere because they're just incels, and then I'm like, well, are you saying that you don't have really nothing to contribute anymore to helping men?
Well,
Which
I
prove
got a question for you, E,
Go ahead.
because I'm new to all this stuff. Because all this stuff, child, please look, that's not how my life set up. What is this? I'm so confused with this Manosphere stuff because, like, I'm. Is this like a real like entity, LLC, corporation? I mean, what,
And
or is this some group or click or something that's on YouTube? Help me understand. I'm lost.
well, I was blessed last year to go to the Black Manosphere event,
Hmm.
and not only that, I've spoken to a different groups of people. Edward Anderson, we did an interview, and he kind of run down the experience, the explanations of 1.0,
Hmm.
2.0, 3.0, Black Man or Manosphere, separating the main white manosphere from the black to a black section because we have our own individual issues. Um, I will say that it is definitely a community, like much like I said with gun owners.
Okay.
Is there a there's I mean, even though there is the NRA,
Right. Right.
but I mean for gun enthusiasts, we all have a collective, you
Yeah.
know.
We have our own little sectors and groups. So that's basically what it is.
Yeah, yeah,
We just have it.
and
Okay.
that's why I say it's like, and you got to understand, I'm a liberal gun owner, so
Right. Right.
so
Okay.
I have a different I have a different approach to say I can say certain things in regards to gun ownership versus somebody who's from Texas,
Hmm.
you know,
So
or a person who's had to, a police officer, or a person who
right.
has to have a gun,
Hmm.
like, you know, we all have our own rites of passages towards
Hmm.
or a viewpoint of reality. So I believe,
Yeah.
it's this, the manosphere is a reflection of that. I think they're trying to get more organized. I think the internet has taken it from, like, say, your forum boards
Hmm.
to, visual to, you know,
Yeah. So
if,
I got one more question about the
go ahead.
man because I'm still learning about because like sometimes like when me and Mrs. She said we doing our panels and we're we pro man around here
Hmm.
and and we get called all kind of stuff because we pro man. But so when it comes to the man, because like I hear different content creators say things about the manosphere, like the Angry Man, the TLA, the what's his name, Osinian, and all the kind of stuff. So is there like is there any type of structure to this, or just everybody just free for all, and if you agree with the talking points, then you are considered manosphere, or is there like a president, is there like a board, is there like a committee, is there like I'm trying to understand, like, or is it just a
I,
hearing
I
to
would I would say from my
you get,
I
you
would
get what I'm
I
saying?
would yeah, I get what you're saying. I would say no.
Okay.
I do believe that there are ideas that
Hmm.
kind of get pushed to the forefront.
Hmm.
There is probably I would say that there's probably a
Excuse, hold
length
on one
there.
second.
There's different. No,
Why am I tripping, Tampa? I'm just asking the question. You got
yeah,
something to say to me? I'm asking because I don't know. Anything else? Okay, go ahead. E. Don't play with me. I'm not the one.
but I would say that. But what I found is much like any grouping, there's a language, there's a
Hmm.
history and standard. A lot of people, even how sexuality and femininity kind of got started. Like
Okay.
it was basically a novel topic that I'm pushing back on, against, say, somebody saying, oh, well, a hoe can't be feminine. And it's just kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
well, we that's not go so far into our pro manness to where we can't talk reality.
Right. Okay.
So I think it's an ever moving group of ideas.
Hmm.
Of course, you're gonna have people like Kevin Samuels that then push the needle even further up into
Hmm.
the atmosphere to where it kind of changes the landscape. But for the most part, from my understanding, no, there's not there's not a central group or core group of individuals that are controlling it. Um,
Hmm.
I don't think.
Do you think it should be? Because okay,
No, no,
no. And so
no.
everybody should just have their own
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah. I think everybody should have their own thing because, like I say, we're dealing with. We got to understand. There's pickup artists. There's red pill. There's
That's
financial
another thing I
gurus.
don't understand. All these pill colors and stuff. That I don't get that either. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't get
I
that
don't
either.
get it either. I
Like
think they go
I went and
overboard.
watched the movie The Matrix because I'm trying to understand. I don't get it. I'm.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I don't understand that,
You,
man.
but I
You
would
get a
say
whole
that
class because for me because I don't get
no, go to. I would suggest go to Edward Anderson. He has a
it.
great. He's one of those people where if you can sit and listen for a little while, you
Mhm.
can. He will say certain things that kind of explain kind of the ideologies. He doesn't give you the inner. He doesn't try to be overly entertaining. His form of entertainment is going to be me giving you great information. So Edward is a great person to kind of do it. He's not running necessarily a show.
Okay.
You get
Okay.
what I'm saying? I see certain like channels are trying to run a show. Like even me, I
Mhm.
I try to, when I try to do my main type of content, I try to run a entertainment valued show.
Mhm.
I think there are certain channels that try to do that, uh, versus somebody trying to educate. So
So the Tampa person said that the red pill is about awareness. Awareness
yes,
of what?
that you're stuck into a system
Hmm.
in which it's trying to control you, and feminism and your masculinity is constantly being under
He
attack.
said blue pill is living a lie.
Yes, blue pill is living a lie. Basically, remember when that guy in the Matrix, he ate that steak
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's like, I know this steak is not real, but I just want to live in it.
But he just wanted okay.
Yeah. And it's the same thing as what
So
they
the
say.
red pill
It,
people
a
don't like the blue pill people.
blue pill blue pill is more or less simps. They're just
See, now that I can understand. So, okay, I got you. Okay, keep talking. Okay, so what about the purple and the black and the pink and the
now black.
gray?
Yeah, they now black pill is basically you're saying, you know, I recognize what's going on, but there's no hope for me. I can't change it. Now, red pill
Hmm.
would be like, yo, you can get your money up, you can do certain things to
Hmm.
change your reality, but black pill is saying there's nothing that's going to change. I have to remove myself from this.
So, red pill is more about being like an alpha type male, if you will,
Red, well,
like
not, I wouldn't
taking
say
control, being, and being control of your destiny, going after what you want, being focused on the goal, on your purpose, that kind of thing. Is that right?
I yeah, yeah. I would give without getting too deep into it, yeah. It's
Mhm.
more or less you have more control of it.
So the manosphere is basically what?
Now the wait, hold on. Let's get back to the black pill.
Okay, okay,
All
okay.
right, the black pill is basically saying, you know what, I can do all of that. I can do
Hmm.
all of everything, but it ain't gonna change the fact that women are hypergamous. It's not gonna change
Hmm.
the fact that I'm gonna get taken by my divorce. I might as well go to a different country with and find and move myself into a different space and thought of
Hmm.
mine because
Hmm.
nothing's really gonna change, you know. So
Okay.
and then they have gray pill, which is even
Yeah, I was
darker.
about to say the gray. I heard it's a gray pill and there's a pink
Yes,
pill. I thought
gray
pink pill. I thought the pink pill was for women.
gray pill
I
is
didn't know it was a man thing.
you have look on my channel. I have a if you go and search on my channel a black
Uh-huh.
pill. Me and Chef did a sit down. We watched this one video of this kid, and he was
Uh-huh.
just sad. He was so sad. He was like, "It's no hope for me. You know, I'm
Mm.
19. I have a dead end job. Nobody likes me. No girls want me. You know, I have this ugly face. Nothing's
Oh
gonna
gosh,
change."
poor
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's and sometimes these pills are different states of mind, and then
Hmm.
yeah, but well, since we're on this subject,
Uh-huh.
Edward Anderson had a great point. If a black man didn't have game, what would you
Mhm.
tell him?
What would I tell him?
Hmm.
I don't know. What do you mean by game? I
You
don't
you
know.
know what I mean? You ain't got no game, boy.
Is that like, he doesn't know how to talk to a woman type thing or something like that?
It's whatever you. I just allowing you to. This is not a gotcha question.
I don't know. I'm trying to dissect it, like, because I'm a black white girl.
All right.
I'm Valley girl in the head now. Wait,
Now, hold
you
on.
gotta get me up on
Okay,
this.
I gave you a chance. I gave you a chance.
Okay,
What if you
give me a
told
moment.
a
Give me a moment. So if
no?
a guy, if okay, so let me use like, okay, say like a a nephew of mine or something having problems getting a girl. Is that what you mean? Because he doesn't have no game, like he doesn't have no swag, that kind of thing. Is that what you mean?
It's whatever you feel. Because I have another exam. I have another question.
And so you're asking what will I tell him?
Hmm. A
I
young
can't
black man.
I can't tell him nothing because I'm not a man. I don't know.
Okay.
I
Now,
mean, I would say go to your dad because you here. So apparently he has swag because you here.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
Because
Good.
apparently
Good.
you here. So he must have had some swag somewhere. I couldn't tell him how to get his confidence up or how to, I don't think I would be able to actually teach him that. I, I would
And
I would I
okay.
would direct them to the men in the family. I really would.
Now this is the second part of this question is
Mhm.
what if you had a young white boy and he said I have no game?
I would tell him to go talk to some black boys.
But would it matter to the white boy?
Would it matter?
Hmm.
Well, if he's complaining about it, I guess it does matter.
You see, you're skipping the.
What do you mean by does it matter?
Does it matter? Basically, and this is a unique thing in which why I think the Black Manosphere exists is
Mhm.
because
Okay.
black men have to have game.
Really?
We're yes, we are one of the few races on earth that has to have game.
Okay. Tampa Supreme says game is all about applying confidence and knowledge.
Yes, it is. But white
But
people don't have white people do not have to have game. Asian
really,
people don't have to have game.
but I guess because it is their culture is just the way they are or whatever. I mean, the way people view the vanillas, as they, you know, as I hate to say it, but like superior, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, do you think
So,
it was a very interesting thing where in which I was thinking about it and I was like,
mhm.
like he that is absolutely right.
But
There's
women, but as a woman, I know that's like one of the first things I see, and it's not about like, oh,
Are you
he
saying
dressed
that as a
like
black woman or are you saying that as just a woman?
as a woman and just general as a woman, like I mean, because I'm around vanillas all day,
Hmm.
so
Do you think
like
they
Tam
man do you think they
like
man
Tampa
had
said,
game? You think their men those men had game?
yeah. Look, okay, look,
Ah.
example. I'm because no, I'm going by what Tampa said in the chat. It's about confidence and the way that they present themselves, the way they carry themselves with confidence. I mean, we as women, we can see that just like how the men look at women, like how, I hear some men say, I love to see a woman that has confidence.
Hmm.
And so we look at men that way too, because if you are like, not sure of yourself, you're shy, you're not, you don't know how to talk to me, that kind of thing. So I think I don't think it's a color thing. I just think
I think
it's
I'm sorry, a white man
I cannot.
can have little game and still have access to more women than a black man with little game.
So that goes back to what exactly do you think game is? Because I'm looking at it as like Tampa saying in the chat, it's about the confidence in yourself, self-esteem, self-awareness. Like you look and act like you the shit.
Yeah.
Even though you may not be, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I
I
guess
hear
it
you.
goes back to what you think game is.
Well, I think we've pretty much discussed it. I think it is
Mhm.
a social it's certain social cues, understanding certain social cues, having confidence,
Yeah.
situation awareness, of
Mhm.
course, communication, of course. Even with all that,
Tampa said it. Look, he says white men are at the top of the social hierarchy.
yeah, but still, that doesn't mean that they it absolves them from game.
So is it game? Is it game the way you dress, the way you talk? Is that what you mean? Like they're like lames, they're corny, but still they get the girl. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think game is about acknowledging certain factors that you have and applying them in a social marketplace. Um,
Well, I guess that depends on what the woman thinks is game.
well, now this is a good this is a good thing. He's Stampa says a nerdy
Mhm.
white man can get a good looking black woman, but a nerdy black man can't get a good looking black woman.
Oh. Hmm.
S- s- But
That's
but
now that's interesting. That
are
that's
you
pretty
under are you seeing where this conversation is? I'm trying to lead you to is like, is that as
Mhm.
black men, we have to have this thing called game, whatever it is, and
Right.
however we kind of define it. But in other societies, we don't.
Mhm.
And
Well, he said it already. He said it, because they have social hierarchy.
okay,
They already looked at. They already or is viewed as
so this is one of
uh,
the things in which,
and
like
and I think money got a lot to do with it too.
yes, well,
Social status, money, that kind of thing.
I don't think that. I think on
You
a
don't think
carnal,
so?
I think on a carnal nature,
Hmm.
I think with the swag part, swag
Hmm.
has nothing to do with money. We can fake swag. You get what I'm
But
saying?
most black women that's married to white men did not look at them for swag. They look at them for the provision and what that man could bring to their life. It has nothing to do with looking at him whether he has swag or not. It
Yeah.
it goes back to money and social status. Come on now. Don't. Mm-mm.
I'm sorry. I was watching that movie, You People.
Okay, you need to stop watching it.
Did you watch that?
No, eBlack, I don't watch that stuff. I be watching Steel Magnolias or something.
You still watching old black and whites?
Yeah, yeah. I
But
was watching Gunsmoke last night.
oh god, watching those Sidney Poitier movies and stuff. But yeah,
With white people in it.
I just I think this is one of the benefits of having the manosphere, and that's why I don't agree with content creators saying I'm going to leave. You don't, or announcing it. If you're going to change up content, just change it up.
Mhm.
But you don't need to make this
Yeah,
grandiose
I don't like that whole
announcement.
yeah, that's stupid to me.
This is my last manosphere video. It's like, okay,
It doesn't make sense. I guess they just trying to, you know, get clout off of because
yeah.
then people be like, "Oh, why are you leaving? Oh, why are you leaving? What happened?" That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to me because I've like I said, I've seen different content creators make
Mhm.
you know content and say, eh, uh, "Oh, I don't agree with Fresh and Fit."
Yeah.
Get a lot of buzz off of that, and then they get
I
a
mean,
lot of
you guys have a lot of infighting. Really, you
yeah.
really do.
But the thing is that I don't believe it's like I said, if I don't have I'm going to make if I'm going to make content about a particular subject,
Mhm.
it's going to come off as the subjects that I'm passionate about.
Right, right,
When you say, "Hey, I'm going to make Black Manosphere content," I don't think you're passionate about having
right,
black
right,
men
right,
and the
right.
the original
Mhm.
purpose of it, or not, or the purposes of it is to uplift other black men. So when you're saying I'm going to leave, that
Mhm.
means I'm not going to support black men who have the same ideologies. Am I being clear?
Right. I agree. Yeah. I'm with you on that one. Hmm.
So the anti-black manosphere is kind of like a weird space in which now I see different content creators going in and actually looking at different channels and saying, "Oh, this person said this. This person's a whiner. I heard this person have a guest on. He said
Hey,
delete."
he's crying like a big baby.
Yes,
Yeah, I've been seeing stuff like that. Yeah, I've been seeing it.
and Gail is saying it. Gail is saying right.
He said,
I've seen so many. This is my last, and I'm departing from XYZ platform videos.
yes,
It's attention
it
whoring. Yeah,
is. And I was about to say that. I said that I think they're just doing it for clout or whatever because that's what's hot right now.
yeah,
The infighting is hot right now. So,
yeah. And what Tampa Supreme says, the gender war content is redundant. And like I said,
yeah,
now
I'm
this is
so
what I
over it.
say. This is what I say to that. This is what I say to that. Instead of
Mhm.
making gender war content, why don't you just talk from a particular standpoint? But what ends up happening is we see a video that's good in numbers
Mhm.
and we bite
Mhm.
the apple and we say
Mhm.
we're gonna stick our foot right in the middle of the gender war. It's like, okay,
Right. I mean, and
I,
then even if like, you know, if you're talking about a certain thing, because I'm always talking about women, femininity, being a wife, blah blah blah. You know, I get viewed as
pick me.
a pick me, mammy, manosphere whore, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I can't look. I'm gonna forward you that email. Oh my god. I was called a manosphere whore.
Yes.
Just
Or
because I told the hoes to stop being hoes. I like it. This
I,
your people, eBlack, your people doing that.
this
Hey,
ain't my.
Andrea, I'm living Ebony, Gail, hey guys,
Hey,
in life.
Andrea. Hope you're feeling good, Andrea. If I'm leaving, I'm just gonna leave, and people will just notice they no longer see me. Now, if
Well,
something
leave
that's going
what
on
is
to
what I'm
tarnish my
asking.
brand, I'm gonna make a formal statement, but that's different. Exactly.
Well, leave what you on YouTube? Like, do is there like some type of hashtag behind everybody's name or something, or do you put manosphere in everything you do? So leave what is
And
what,
that's
and that's why I asked you: is there some type of entity or
yeah. What you got to do is go
regulatory?
down to the. You got to go down to the main office on
Right. So
Broadway.
leave what? It's
You
just
got to
this.
turn in your Manosphere card.
See, that's what I mean. Like, what exactly are you leaving? Like, content is content. Like, I'm not a part of no manosphere, but I just have beliefs and things of how I was raised. Now, if you take it as a manosphere type thing, oh well, but I don't get what. It's just standards,
Yeah.
just
Well,
standards that I was
I will
raised
say
with. So I don't know.
I will say that there are very few male dominant examples other than YouTube. Uh, I mean, I the last guy, Montel Williams, that I can truly remember, and even Dr. Phil.
I'm talking about the one with the talk show, the Montel Williams show guy.
Yes,
Okay.
even Dr. Phil's is still, it caters towards women, but it has the male. But there's so few examples of male driven content,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't believe that society is really understanding the power of male driven content without
Mhm.
looking at sports.
Child, even that kind of getting a little. I mean, we got they wearing dresses and stuff now, so
Yeah, I agree.
that's a whole nother show.
Now, 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 I always get my behind chewed out because I have my views, but
Mhm.
I always tell people it's like I base it off 43 years of life. I keep saying
Right.
43. I'm 42.
Hmm.
I just thought I just add a number at the end of the year. So whatever year it is, I always say my age is that year
Hmm.
plus 40. But yeah, I mean, why is it that I even asked Angry Man this question? I
Hmm.
said, Angry Man, why is it that a man who's married, a man who's done everything right, who's lived life, has his ups and downs, why are those men the men that cannot lead the movement versus the men who are openly saying, I don't care about none of these hoes. I'm going to pump and dump them and create babies out of them and not give them child support. And matter of fact, don't even have the child support
Well,
system.
look, that's easy. That's the easy answer. You got a bunch of rebellious, hard headed, entitled MFers running around the world. That's just my opinion. Nobody can tell nobody what nothing. They don't want to listen to the elders. They don't want to listen to people that have the results. They think they know everything. They just want to do what they want to do. They want to run amok. And then years later down the line, they were like, "Oh, I should have. They failed us. They failed us." No, Ninja, you didn't want to listen. That's what that was.
Yeah.
when they was trying to tell you, you didn't want to listen. That's just my opinion.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, why are the fathers who are within their children's life not being, put out the forefront? And it's very frustrating for me in particular, because they say, oh, eBlack, you can't make red pill or Black Manosphere content. I'm like, what the fuck, I can't?
Why not? Why they tell you can't?
Oh, because I like Amber Rose. I like them. I like them strippers.
And you know what? But guess what? eBlack, quiet as it kept, they do too. They just ain't putting it out there like that.
Red, I've actually had one.
They be lying on them panels. I be cracking up.
They be lying their asses off. I had one girl, and I hope she's listening. She told me a story about these red pill. She was like, yeah, I was on this panel with a group of so-called red pill guys, and he's trying to get with me. Does he not know? Does he not know that I have multiple kids? And like, she is the.
And look, and then they will say, oh yeah, we like them for a bust down, but we ain't gonna marry them.
Shit. These dudes be following in love.
Oh my, y'all, it's wow.
And this is and we're gonna sit here and have a conversation. Like, this is why the power of P conversation really pisses me off, because I'm like, y'all really gonna sit here and say, oh, a man in his purpose ain't gonna do this? Nigga, get the fuck out of here. Y'all
That's
gonna
why I could not understand what the heck was the pushback. I mean, like, kingdoms have fallen because of P. Like
90% of
over the P.
90% of fights
over the P, right? They go to jail over the P. Like, I could not understand what was the big pushback on it. It was just crazy. Day after day, it was more content about it. Like, y'all just wild. And like Courtney said the other day, it was nothing but pander. It's pandering. I think, to me, it's all pandering to me.
Yeah, I think pandering.
All the
and that's why
pandering. I feel that's just my opinion.
Well, I think you do have to pander. You do have. That's the problem that I have, is that I'm not a very good panderer, but I can pander. But I'm just
eBlack. Yes, you can.
I'm just terrible at it. I'm just terrible at it.
You can roll with the best of them. I'll be like, Lord Jesus. E start trouble again. I'm like, I gotta do my E with the explanation points behind it. What are you doing?
Chef. Hey, Chef will text me in the middle of a conversation. I'll be on a panel. He'll be like, stop trolling. Stop.
Like yes. Like, what are you doing? Especially if you be on the Fight Club panel. I'll be like, Lord Jesus Christ, this boy here. I'm waking up to drama. And guess who on the panel? eBlack.
Yeah. It's fun. I like to argue.
Pandering hard. Pandering. All right, I got one more Manosphere question.
Go ahead.
Well, actually, two. Well, I'll start with this one. I'm going by what Tampa was saying.
Hold on 1 second. I just seen this comment by I literally seen this comment by Andrea.
Okay.
The stand is the Black family, the mother and the father raising their children. I believe married men should lead. That is my opinion. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. I just seen that comment. I'm sorry.
Gail said, I don't think men fight for the P because they are so many women. Oh, yes, baby. Yes, they do. Matter of fact, somebody just got shot yesterday over P. Okay.
Yeah, I
don't. Want me to send you the article? Yeah.
I'm telling you, men will fight over any P.
Mm-hmm.
If they claim it to be their P,
exactly,
it's their P, and that.
But you know what? And it goes back, and also you have women now, they fighting over the D.
Yeah.
This one girl ripped the other girl hair clean off her head. Girl was bleeding from the scalp. over some D that neither one of them had because old boy drove right past them fighting with another girl.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got no P discipline and no D discipline around here.
Everybody beefing over something.
Everybody just ready.
And
Oh,
Ebony says, LOL, Miss Ty. Exactly. I agree. It's pandering. The sad thing is, people talking about this won't grow because they contradict themselves. They'll
yeah,
lose their subscriber base.
baby, yes, sis.
I
Yes,
agree. And
yes.
that's why I refuse to pander, and I
Right,
refuse to be an echo chamber because I cannot keep up with all the bullshit that I may say.
right.
It's like what? It's like what? It's like the whole thing with Donovan Sharp.
Mm-hmm,
Does he
mm-hmm.
not know half of the stuff that he's made in his career?
Child. Yeah,
He goes,
that's weird though.
he goes online and says at 30 years old, he had a 19-year-old who was high on crack, meth, made him look.
I literally went and popped some popcorn to watch that. Like literally, that was wild.
I'm like, yo,
And he
how are
kept
you?
talking.
But he's literally thinking that this means something. But okay, at 30 years old,
30
no,
years old. Yeah.
I'm giving him 30 just because it sounds young, but this is actually 31.
Yeah,
You
add the
know,
one, baby. Add the one to it. Yeah.
and I'm just like, how are we getting? This is what I'm saying. Why is it that these men have the loudest voices versus the men who actually are doing it right and can actually help you in whatever stage of life you're on?
When
But
you
we,
know it, because it's shiny. It looks shiny and fun. And you don't have to work for it. You know, fools can just act like fools and it's just like how these people be on these TikToks and things, and all of a sudden they just have like a million subscribers because they do something stupid
yeah,
and they get paid for it. Like
it,
example, like the what's the girl, the bad baby girl? She gets on there, cash me outside. Next thing you know, this child got $16 million.
mm-hmm.
So
Now
it's easy. So they don't want to do the work. Of course not. They ain't gonna listen to y'all. Child, please.
AR said he's about to start pandering. F it.
Hey, you been pandering, okay? You ain't about
You
to start.
been pandering.
You been
AR has been pandering. He started off pandering. He started off pandering, saying men manosphere versus women's sphere. What the?
right.
It's so it's
Exactly.
so. Then he cut off the manosphere and just said women's sphere.
AR done changed his name so many times since I've been on the YouTube streets. You are pandering, sir.
So,
I don't know who be in my chat. Change his name.
For real, he liked one of my videos, and I was like, looking, I'm like, who the hell is this?
Right. Like who's that saying something like how they know my name? I'm like, hey Tom, like who's you? Like this AR, like, oh Lord, you don't change the name. Who you pandering to now, AR?
Now Don Harden says, I think everyone thinks Kevin Samuels' rhetoric will produce Kevin Samuels' numbers, but Kevin Samuels had game and was
Uh-huh.
extremely articulate, which, to
Mm-hmm.
be honest, is not the
Mm-hmm.
case on most panels. I agree.
I agree.
But he put in the work. He constantly worked and worked and
Keyword,
worked.
eBlack word, and that's what they don't want to do. That's why they don't want to listen to the men that have, what they really want is because they don't want to do the work.
Yeah,
They
and
want it the
even
easy way, and
as
pandering is the easy way.
as much shit as I give Just Pearly, she works hard, but you gotta
Work,
work.
you
Most
gotta work.
people most people do not want to acknowledge the fact that it takes work to do certain things, but people will
Mhm.
weed out the bullshit, and you have to be able to stand on it. And
Yeah.
that's why I say it's like, look, I'm gonna stand on what I stand on, you know, because I can't keep up with y'all lies.
So can I
Or
ask my,
not you, but
manosphere
y'all.
question?
Go
So
ahead.
my manosphere question is because like since I've been in these YouTube streets, all I hear Manosphere talking points is about women. Is that solely what you guys talk about? Is like in the dysfunction of women that you're trying to, you know, change? Or I don't know what y'all trying to do to them, but
I think it go,
but you know what
I
I
think
mean?
it go,
Because
I
that's all
think
I
it,
hear is you talking about women. I don't really hear anybody talking about finances. You know, like Antoine or somebody talking about finance, but the
and
majority, I
time.
guess, the pandering is, talking about the women and stuff. So is that
And
the main thing?
once again that's content creator by depending upon content creators. There's content creators who are anti-black,
Mm-hmm,
black
mm-hmm.
men in black faces
Mm-hmm.
saying fuck black jigaboos and these
Right.
women ain't nothing. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lane for that. I think, like if you go to say Bernard Rowley, he'll have a couple of guests on who talks like Theo. He'll talk about cloud computing, up in your game, real
Mm-hmm.
estate. You know, I think there's also other content creators, even Authentic Alphas.
Yes, I watch him. I like his content.
He talks about like a lot of fitness. Shit,
Mhm.
I even give Fresh and Fit their props because they even make videos about fitness and finance. But
Okay.
the rest of these cats, they broke. They dusty.
Yeah.
They don't have nothing. They think YouTube's a lick.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
no, you're not gonna find it from those types of channels. And you could just look at it. You can look at what they're doing.
Yeah.
You can just see it. You can just see it. Yo, I know how to talk. We're gonna talk about these women and hold these women accountable for the
Mm-hmm.
for stuff. But then you look at them and their livelihood and what they got going on, and you can just tell that it's just a lick for them. And that's why
Right.
I've always said. That's why I say, you can't lump everybody out up together. Just like fitness, if I was trying to get into fitness, and certain
Mm-hmm.
fitness gurus will tell you don't eat soy or whey or fatty foods, and some will say eat fatty foods, and you don't know who is saying it right unless you're actually actively in the fitness gym. And it's the
Right.
same thing with men. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know who's saying what unless you're actually being a man. And as a man, I can weed out who's saying bullshit. But as women, you guys
Mm-hmm.
don't know. So you think all of them are basically saying the same thing.
Gotcha.
Or it's kind of like one of those
Yeah.
things. And that's why I
Mm-hmm.
say that's why I don't like I said, I don't understand why people have to make this grandiose exit. It's like, what are you saying you're exiting from? Being a man? Oh,
They
I'm
trying
just
to
gonna
trying to let y'all know.
Yeah, I'm leaving the manosphere because I'm gonna start talking about sports and politics. It's like, okay,
But
you're still.
but look, even when they say that they end up still talking manosphere talking points anyway.
Hmm. I agree.
It's because from what I'm hearing is that the premise of the talking points or whatever, the beliefs of the manosphere is so vast, you can't get away from it. Like you could end up talking about money, but then you end up talking about some manosphere talking point. Or
Yeah.
you can end up talking about relationship and still end up talking about some manosphere. So you can't get away from it. So why are you announcing it unless you got uh Joe Black Manosphere in your name? I don't see what you announcing it for. It's stupid to me.
Thank you. It's and Gail said it right. It's not one size fits all. Even in fitness, you have to
Yeah.
consider genetics, any health issues,
Mm-hmm.
a person's lifestyle. I think it's the same with relationships. Facts. I
And
can I tell people all the time, I can speak to different types of men and different types of positions at their livelihood. I may not be able to talk to every single guy, and I'm fine with that.
mhm.
I'm fine. I am 100% fine saying that. You know what, eBlack can't speak to, the 6'5" athlete that went to school and has a college degree. I don't.
Mhm.
I can only speak to certain people who I can deal with in my livelihood or around my spectrum, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And but I do believe the women are killing it now. I don't know
Yeah,
what's going on with
I
that.
think so too. Uh
I
oh. AR say he about to pull up and curse it.
pull up, AR. You don't have
Oh
to be
my
on camera, but ML said that's why I stopped listening to half these people. I have a real life relationships and family. These people are over here
Thank
talking
you.
with no results. Thank
Right.
you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
I agree with that. Like a lot of people that I used to when I first came into the YouTube stuff, I don't follow them people no more. Or no, I only listen to what they have to say.
yeah,
Cause I you know me, I see things. You know
my
me,
problem.
I see things, you know.
If I had it all over again, I would have created a YouTube profile exclusively for eBlack TV and
Mhm.
subscribed from there. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
because I, I use my YouTube profile as my professional one, so it's kind of like
Mhm.
I get so I don't want to subscribe to the wrong people because
Yeah.
when I get off of eBlack TV mode, I want to go into like my stuff, the weird stuff I like personally, like
Right.
the like the dog and otter videos that are in China, you know.
Yeah. Well, see,
But
I have two separate ones. Like my Red Lipstick Vibes one, that's like for like the content kind of stuff. But the stuff
yeah,
that I like to watch is under Miss Ty.
hmm
So you know, that's the one that's on my TV. So I'll just lay back.
yeah.
And so yeah, I got two different profiles. 'Cause-
And in saying that is because I don't subscribe to a lot of people, but I miss out on a lot of stuff that a lot of
you
good
ain't,
content too.
you ain't missing nothing.
I ain't missing.
You ain't missing a darn thing. A
No,
bunch
I
of
do.
hoopla.
I do believe I miss out. Like y'all be sending me stuff. I don't. Even, I'm like, who is this
Oh,
motherfucker?
you talking about the drama in the YouTube street? Oh my god. Yeah.
But
Like and it's crazy because I would catch things like because I'll wake up in the middle of the night or something because I'm a light sleeper. So and then I'd be like, what the devil is going on right now? Like it be some crazy stuff going on. Like what's happening? And then it will always spill into the next day and the day
mhm.
after and the day after. So you kind of like keeping track on what's going on. Oh
All
Lord,
right,
here we go. Lord
here we
Jesus.
go.
I'm
What's
about to
going on,
leave
AR?
y'all. Y'all have a good afternoon. I gotta go
Yeah.
make some lunch.
Wow.
So you gonna leave me up here with only
Woo.
well,
with AR, but I appreciate you showing up.
hold on, Miss Todd, before you go,
No,
hold
I'm
on.
good. I'm good for right
Oh,
now.
let me just say something real quick, right? First of all,
Your
you
mic
black,
is low.
you can't hear me really? Hold on.
Yeah, it's real low.
I probably gotta go on the computer. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we hear you.
Okay. Listen, right? So I honestly believe if racism ended, people will riot to bring it back.
You know what? I cannot.
No, but I was listening to the conversation. I think it was great. I think I made a post just asking like, okay, we've been on these online spaces for a while now. When I say we, I'm talking about like the people that are doing podcasts. Is it just
Yeah.
about money, or are we really
Yes.
trying to help people? I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can still make your money, but are you pulling
Yeah.
even one black man to the side, at least one,
Right. Right.
and
Yeah.
changing? I mean, you have the resource. I don't like a lot of people are just starting. They don't have the resources, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
about money. You don't have the resource, but there's some podcasts that blew up during the pandemic,
Yeah.
and now they're at hundred
It's
thousand
became about
subscribers,
money.
and
I
that's
see where
cool.
you're going, AR. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Like
I see where you're going with that. I think some people they're not, how can I say it, seasoned enough to stay the course that they started with. You know, like once they get monetized or whatever, they start shifting because they looking at the dollar bills coming through, you know what I mean? No pun intended. They start changing their message because, oh, when I say this or do this, I see more super chats coming in.
Yeah.
And so they forget the fact that the reason why they came on YouTube. So again, it goes back to
The
pandering.
numbers change. The numbers change people. I've
Yeah,
seen it.
the
I've seen
numbers
it
change
personally.
people.
I've seen it personally. The
Hmm.
numbers change people. I've seen people sit there and say, or I've been on content creators pages and they say, when y'all was arguing, we had like 80 people up in here.
Right.
And then when y'all
Hmm.
stopped arguing, it went down to 40. And it was just kind of
So they figured it out. Oh,
they
drama and arguing sells.
No, I mean, like, I'm cool with that. Like y'all just mentioned, I changed my name so many times. It's probably a
Yeah.
personality complex, right? Whatever. But
yeah,
that's,
why are you doing that?
I feel like it. Listen, YouTube allows me to change it. So if I feel like
You are
being racist,
pandering.
I'm gonna change it to White Lives Matter. If I feel like I
You know
want to
what?
troll, then I change something. No, but I mean, like, it's just, you can still pander or you can change your message around. That's fine. But
Yeah.
my whole thing, like, just like the just pretty thing, she's all about the money, right? She's not about actually trying to help people and
Shoot,
go
she
for
ain't the only one. A whole
that's
bunch of
no,
them.
and I'm cool with that. But all I'm really saying is that, especially within a black, you have a lot of black content creators that have the resources, that have the network, that have the people that watch them consistently. And there's a lot of panels, even with the men talking about being men and changing. And I'm like, yo, but none of y'all no one's getting engaged. I'm not gonna name
Right,
nobody, but
like
it's been
where's
like
your result?
4 years,
Yeah,
3 years.
yeah.
None of them are getting engaged.
Right.
None of them. It's just like more baby mamas are popping up,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, but
Yeah.
where's the actual? We know when it comes to black men, the average black income for a man is $47,000 a year. So
Mhm.
we need a lot of help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where is that happening? I don't get it.
Hold on, Red. Polar Bear,
Hey,
greetings.
polar bear.
Hey, eBlack, how you doing? Everybody else. Sorry, I got my glasses on and I'm don't see it.
I
Hold on,
seen you in
man.
Atlanta, right?
Yeah. Haven't seen
Yes.
you since then.
Yes.
I'll be back, guys. I gotta make Mr. Caleb some lunch. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Now, if y'all didn't know Polar Bear, he is tall as ever. He is a literal polar bear.
Hence the name. I got that name from some ex-girlfriend, so that's why tagged myself as the polar bear.
That's good. What do you have on the conversation, or how long have you been listening? I should say.
Just about when you accepted me into the thing, I was actually on YouTube looking at the new Dungeon Dragon movie trailers. And then I saw that you were like somewhere in the list of, videos to watch. I said, I know eBlack. Let me roll up and say hi.
Okay, I appreciate it. I'm glad I showed up on somebody's algorithm.
Yep.
But today we're talking about the topic is mainly anti-manosphere. This was a conversation that was inspired by Edward Anderson, where a lot of content creators are just kind of making their announcement that they're either leaving the manosphere or they're taking certain aspects of the manosphere and then leaving it and saying, "Oh well, I don't agree with all you guys," and I don't think it's really fair because like the example I give is that I'm a gun owner. I may not be NRA gun owner, but I'm a gun owner. I'm a liberal gun owner. So I have a different perspective, just like a Texas gun owner will have, or Oklahoma gun owner, or somebody who's in the Army who has to, or a police officer. We all have different aspects of life and different things. But when you say, "Oh, I'm leaving the manosphere," or "I'm going to make anti-manosphere content," I believe that you're saying, "Oh, I don't believe in, especially black men having a voice."
I would say probably because I've seen different creators, black and white. They, for a while they might be on board with it. And then I think someone mentioned here, maybe it was the lady that's on there. I'm sorry, my eyes are not seeing well. It's what, Pretty Red?
You can call her Ms. Ty.
Missed high. Okay, my apology. My eyes don't focus that well on a thing. But anyways, like you were saying, is they do it for, I guess, attention grabbing, more or less. Oh, I'm leaving, but really they're not. It was just a catchphrase to do. And others might be doing it mainly because maybe what is classified as the manosphere, whether it's white, black, or otherwise, is getting, I guess, a little bit more attention. And sometimes that attention is not seen in a favorable light. Hence, they're like, let me switch gears and go on a different train so I can still pull views. And then there's the thing about the Passport Brothers. Whether Passport Brothers means black men or if it means like eBlack might know, like in the military, like brothers in arms. It's not
Yeah.
race, it's just like a camaraderie thing, whatever the case may be. But the Passport Gang, Passport Brothers, whatever, it is strong, and I personally don't have anything against it. But I guess there were some individuals that kind of brought a bad light to it, whether it was actual or just perceived. And so some people, see Passport Brothers associated with Manosphere, associated with a bit of a bad rep is developing. Hence, they're going to go a different avenue so they don't get tagged as on the negative side and want to do something that's positive side, whether it's positive or negative in reality. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. And but like it goes to me, from my opinion, if you're talking about male development and talking about issues that men have, I don't understand how you can make an announcement, oh, I'm leaving that type of environment, without saying, are you understand what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, like, what are you gonna do? Pander to women? What does that look like? It doesn't erase the fact that these issues still are there. And and my thing is, why is the need to announce it?
Yeah, I think, and again, I could be completely wrong. So whatever I say, take with a good measure of salt. But a lot of these manosphere or women's sphere or whatever's, um, it's more about dogging out the other side or a category versus which draws attention, as someone said earlier. Conflict draws attention. If you're just doing purely a positive message, good ways to do things, it's seen as boring, not entertaining. Hence, it gets lower views. And that's why you don't see much of it, because everybody wants to make money, usually.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, even MTR, who was it? MTR, O'Shea Du Jackson, they made announcements that they're leaving the Manosphere. MTR made a long video about him leaving the Manosphere, but his content didn't change. As a matter of fact, he started talking more about, which is, I have no problem with either. I mean, I have an issue with O'Shea.
You're breaking up, AR. AR, you're looking like your avatar right now.
You're in Africa, Poland, or some shit. When have you ever actually tried? Because you talk about helping black men. How exactly have you tried to help black men? We have a bigger issue than just talking online. I seen eBlack working with the kids. No views. But as soon as he started talking shit about another black man, the views go way, way up. But he's sitting there working with the kids, trying to teach the kids. Taking time for this. And all those black kids are not his in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Hardly any views. So it's just like that was my whole thing. People will announce they're leaving, but their content doesn't change. And as a matter of fact, I think people conflate a lot of people think that the red pill, manosphere, red pill rage are all the same. They're not. Manosphere is supposed to simply be about men doing better. Now, if you're married, that could include your trying to do better in your household or whatever. That's what manosphere is about. Red pill is just you open your eyes and you see in a different light and taking reality. Red pill rage is about bashing women. And I think because that's probably why people announce that they're leaving, because they just don't want to get part of, I guess, like Polar Bear was saying, they don't it's the title they don't get attached to. But I mean, I don't know. It's just people are just really interested in making money, man. And I'm cool
Yeah.
with that. But damn, I mean, it really gets to a point where just like, come on, man. There's some men that really need help with a lot. I'm talking about the average guy, not a guy that came from prison. I'm talking about a guy that is just 35 years old and
Mhm.
he needs help. And y'all have, and some platforms have the resources, but they will not do it. They need the views.
Unless they paid thousands of dollars for it. Yeah.
Yeah. If I may say something, probably one over on the Peef Network, and this is not a slam of any sort, but one of the best episodes I thought they had on there. It was JR, and he was actually interviewing a medical doctor, a black medical doctor, male, and the doctor was providing excellent information on different health issues that pertain to men. And now I don't know what kind of results or views he had on it, but that was very good, positive content, no arguing, no whatevers. But I bet why more of those weren't done because it wasn't a conflict type topic.
Yeah. And I think with the way we discussed it, we kind of discussed it as we feel as if a lot of it's thundering outside, so I don't know if y'all can hear that. Um the gender war is a constant seller. Not everybody can really talk about finance. Not everybody can talk about real estate. Not everybody can talk about I guess fitness. But everybody has some view or form of view of relationships between men and women.
Yeah.
So I think that
That's what's popular now. Would y'all agree?
yeah.
That's the talking point that's popular now.
Yeah,
Black women is black women that.
yeah, I would agree with you. Or it could be, I won't say it's the only one that's popular the most, but it is obviously among the most popular for people that actually search for it because, all the algorithms is start viewing something, it's going to
Mhm.
be more the same. If you start going into a completely different topic area, then you
Yeah.
start more of those things on your feed and you
Mhm.
watch them, then you get more engrossed in them.
Yeah, because I I've been visiting other spaces, and most of them are in different countries. Like I've been like a lot of my people that follow me are in is on across the pond more. So I've been in their spaces more than anything, and the conversations are very different.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy being on that side of YouTube because it seems like the conversations on this side is the same
And what
every
color were they, Miss Ty? What
day.
color were they?
They're black and white.
Black and white, but mostly what color? What shade?
I cannot. I cannot. We are. You is such a
Did they have white?
Angela. You
But
and,
that,
and
pandering.
yeah, go ahead.
I've had other people who've made content and they say, and they get into a mental block and they're just like, man, I'm just tired of this space. And I try to tell them, like, man, change your algorithm, start looking at other things and just start putting out the content that you want. I know it's definitely tough when your views go low, especially, when you're like I always say the audience, the chat is like a tribe. Everybody, you can look at my chat and everybody's saying hello, and it's this feeling. It's an interactive entertainment thing, and I understand that. But to me, the core of it should be when you talk about manosphere, it should be about helping other men getting better in their life, not complaining and not that. But if they want to complain, I think complaining has a good point too. I think, therapy sessions, just getting it out, saying what your issues are fine too. But I think solutions should also be attached to that. And I don't I
Right.
see
Mm-hmm.
where the entertainment and solutions, they're getting further and further apart.
Exactly. I agree.
And I would like to see it get more closer, because that's what I loved about Kevin Samuels, because he had a solution.
Yeah.
He's literally sat there on plenty of phone calls saying, okay, well, you know what you
Mhm.
need to do? You need to get therapy. Call me back in 30 days and let me know what happened.
Right.
You're not
Yeah.
hearing that. It's like with Kendra G. It's like I don't consider her a Manosphere channel, but it's like when she's not, all she's doing is just exposing the fuckery in the world. and I don't know. And I think Shannon B says Black Manosphere is destroying old and young men. I wouldn't say destroying. I'd say I would like to see a more consistent message and newer ideas, fresher ideas.
Well, that's my thing. I don't believe the Manosphere is destroying. I don't think people are actually using the Manosphere because just because someone says they're Christian doesn't mean they actually, like, there's a lot of pastors that got baby mamas all up in their congregation. I don't. They may
you can have a baby mama and be a Christian. Stop. You can have a baby mama.
Hold on. They're not showing to bear the fruit. But what I'm saying is that like Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant's a pastor, right? He got 4 baby mothers in his congregation, bro.
Yeah, he surely does.
I mean, like, come on, bro.
all four of them going to heaven, though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, but by his, just because he says he's a Christian, that doesn't necessarily mean he is actually preaching the word of God. And I think just because someone says they're Manosphere doesn't mean they're actually trying to teach about Manosphere. There's no way you're part of the Manosphere and you're bashing any side of a woman.
Yeah, look what Gail said.
It's not supposed to be about women. That's more like Red Pill Rage or some shit.
Gail said it.
Be us improving ourselves.
Gail said KS had solutions, but people called him a black woman basher and panderer to men as well.
But even he wasn't married.
Yeah.
So what solution can he possibly listen? You can give solutions.
Well, no, I got pushback on that part because you know, we can look at somebody and say, "Oh, well, he wasn't married, but he was before." And so I can say, just like I had the ladies on my panel a couple of weeks ago, right? And we had, you know, an older mother. She, you know, she's been married before. And it's like you can take advice from someone that's been there, done that, and they can tell you what they did that was wrong so that you don't make that mistake. So when I hear people say, well, you're not married, you've been divorced 99 times. Well, okay, so then you take what they're saying that they did in their marriage that was wrong so that you don't have to go down that path and hit that wall like they did. So I necessarily don't like when people say that, because you can learn from someone that's not particularly in the state that, you know.
Okay.
Hold on one second, guys. I got Edward in. What's going on, Ed?
Hi.
I mean, nothing much. I said I come up. I didn't want to be that dude that say don't show up for work. So,
well,
what's up, everybody on the panel?
We've based this show entirely. I've based this show entirely on your anti-manosphere content.
Yeah, a lot of people like that title. I actually got messages about that title. I mean, y'all could use it and add it. You can do like 100 characters, although it's a lot of shit. But yeah, I mean, there's folks that are in the space or not in the space that they profit off talking shit about the space, and it's not even that they profit. It's I don't know what it is. People are more comfortable with coming at black men and they are actually addressing the issue, and where black men are the issue, I have no problem, never had a problem saying that. Like another video I did that kind of pissed people off, dudes off, which I said black men care about being chose and they care about going after power, which is why black men are always self-cannibalizing each other or creating hierarchies with each other based on who the women are picking or the avatars of what the women say they want. When at the end of the day, what black men need to be doing is creating an environment that dictates the rules and being unapologetic about that. We do more. We want the women to referee shit and then, you know, say which play is it valid or not valid. And yeah, that gets in the way of a lot of the arguments that we're trying to do. And that's something that's been going on for years. So that's kind of where that came from. And then I got people that's upset with me. Some people are filing customer service complaints about somehow, you know, about what the space should be doing or should not be doing, as if I run the space. And it's like, nigga, I'm not even a fucking. I wouldn't even consider myself a fucking supervisor. I'm like, you know, I'm more like a lead person. That's it, you know.
And
But
see,
whatever.
that's my thing, Edward, is that I'm because I'm trying to understand this whole manosphere thing because I don't know nothing but what y'all be doing over here. It's who is who is the lead in the space? Like
listen,
who is like
I don't want you deflecting. I did want to respond to you.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, hi,
Okay,
Courtney Michelle is in the chat. Brother He said it's in the chat.
I'm not gonna be here forever. I'll probably be here maybe 30, maybe 45 minutes. I just want to
we're about to close up. I did Edward want to say Gail, if you have Edward's channel, please drop it. I said that, you know, Edward has a great channel in terms of, you know, you're not. Would you say that you're not doing it for entertainment value, but you try to be as entertaining as you can be?
You know, I'm not. You know, my stuff is very organic. So understand, like, just FYI, some of y'all do know what my channel's about, but I'm just gonna let you know my channel's not for everybody. You know, shout out to, you know, BGS Igmore. If y'all really want to deal with a more understanding what the stuff is in a bite-sized pieces, because my videos are always like an hour and a half at least, and everybody ain't got time to listen to all that shit. You know, a lot of times they'll see me in my car talking shit, but it be some real shit. So I'm just gonna let y'all know that up front. Now, I do on my community tab, which I like to promote. I promote a lot of other people's channels, which, you know, give different perspectives from people's different backgrounds, so you can really get an idea what the space is. So yeah, and also BGS is about to relaunch BGS for women, which for women, if y'all want to actually have some of these conversations, like the question what's called was asking about the manosphere and what it's about and what are the stuff you can get all. In fact, if you type in BGS for women now, women will be able to have that conversation. And BGS is the host, but he usually has women co-hosts. The last time he was there, but he had 2 women co-hosts. Crimson Cure, Kendra was a woman co-host. This is before her channel really blew up. So that was a couple of years ago. So it's kind of like a space segue for women to where, yeah, dudes we do what we do in the chat, but women can vent their stuff and get responses from dudes that A, got kids, A, got experience, B, you know, are pro-black, or have these tendencies, but are going to be very unapologetic about what men stand for and what it is and what the problems are with No Chaser. So
just subscribe to it.
Yeah, and Kevin and FYI, BGS comes from Kevin, but Kevin comes from BGS as well as O'Shea. These people, we were on panels with Kevin, or Kevin was on panels with us pre him blowing up. I was a subscriber to Kevin when he had 30,000 views, but he talked about sales. So this is like the origin of a lot of this stuff that a lot of new people came to. So because I'm telling you, when you hear me, I'm not necessarily for everybody. I tell you what it is. I don't really give a fuck how you feel about it. And that just is what it is. So I'm just letting y'all know up front.
Let me ask Ms. Ty a question. Ms. Ty, before I was interrupted.
Yeah.
All right. What other culture or what other race you know that only in the Black community you're able to not have results and make millions off of your own people? I love Kevin Samuel. I have no issue, but at the same time, we got a lot of Black men. It's like Black history, right? We can't name nothing in the past 20 years that Black men did that's like astounding. Even 50
what?
years.
Right?
So what I'm saying is that fall back. Let me finish what I'm saying. So even with Kevin Samuels, his whole thing was about marriage. Oh, he was married, but yeah, you're making millions of dollars to try to tell people how to be married successfully, and you're not married.
So let's be very clear here. Kevin was basically here's the thing you keep. All right, so we have a speech is actually a question. I can answer it.
You just spoke for like 20 minutes, bro.
I spoke.
Hold on, Ed.
I'm
it's not a question. So it's not a question. You're just okay. So just
I'm yielding my response to Edward. Edward, you can respond to him for me because I'm gonna let the men have this one. Go ahead.
Yeah, respond.
Okay, so number one, Kevin didn't make millions of dollars of this idea. First of all, you said that at least twice. So apparently, because he's making money, that much money, that seems to be an issue. But let's take that off the table and just talk about the other part. Kevin was married twice. Kevin mainly talked about how to get picked. He never really talked about how, yeah, he did intertwine that, how to keep a relationship going. But his main thing with the women was how to get picked, how to get chose. What is the parameters to get chose by this guy? Now, let's say this. Let's say that Kevin wasn't that guy before YouTube. You had guys that spent money. Like, I'm talking about super chatted. These are guys that had the money to spend, you know, constantly on every show, validating what he was saying. And by the way, guys that were those guys that we know, shout out to Theo Wob, shout out to a lot of other dudes that definitely co-signed his message. It's just like how you got dudes that talk about sports with their analytical ability, even though they may not have been necessarily the best basketball players to play in that league. So, I mean, I'm not saying what you're saying is not valid, but at the end of the day, people did not have to listen to Kevin. They did not have to show Kevin. It's not like black men are favored in this algorithm. And one thing that Kevin did that's unique is Kevin brought people, which is why he got drove by the algorithm so much, is because Kevin was able to bring people off of YouTube onto YouTube. And that's one of the triggers that if you can trigger that, the algorithm's going to share you because you bring it on his platform. So regardless of what you think, at the end of the day, women valued what he had to say, whether they couldn't stand him or took, at least if they hated him, they took serious what he was saying, which is why they hated him so much. And then as far as men validated that. So it's this argument. And then before Kevin, there was Steve Harvey. You have a whole bunch of dudes that do that, and you have dudes in other communities that do that too.
Steve Harvey target was basically it was different. It was different. Steve Harvey didn't target black people, so you even have people like the Umar Johnson. So we have a lot of black people within the black communities. They make millions of dollars off of black people, and they don't have the credentials.
So I got a question. Whose fault is that? Is that Umar for existing, or is that the people that support him?
It's the people.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
But you telling me like that's something I can do. It's a culture, which is what I talk about. I promote Tariq. Now, people want to say they don't like Tariq for a lot of reasons, but what I always promote about Tariq is Tariq does what he says he's going to do, he does results.
Yeah. Now, Tariq does speak negative about white people. Does he live in a black community? He lives in a white community, and that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, so dude, you just got gripes with people. That's what you have.
No, I don't. No, I'm talking about.
Those are
no, I'm saying this. I'm saying the same thing. Black people in black communities, they're making millions of dollars off of black people.
You didn't say that about 4 times now. Millions of dollars.
Okay, because money matters, right?
So why are you pocket watching other people? So if they're not making money, it doesn't matter, I guess.
Well, the reason why I guess you can say I'm pocket watching. For instance, it's been 10 years. Umar Johnson saying that he will build school for
Umar doesn't make millions of dollars.
Okay,
he doesn't. Umar raised about. Look, I don't like Umar. Ever since Umar said black men need, I had a cousin of Umar on my shit just a couple of days ago.
Listen, it's documented. He's going to court right now in Pennsylvania for making close to $1 million.
Okay, that's not millions of dollars though.
Hold on, fall back, bro. Off of donations going towards the school, and the school has not been built yet, right? Hasn't been finalized for people to move in yet. Close to $1 million. Now that doesn't mean the other donations he's done. So he's another man that speaks highly on marriage, and he speaks, but he's not legally married himself. So we just had Donovan Sharp. I don't know what happened with him, but for whatever reason he did like a tell-all, and come to find out, he's another man in the black community.
Donovan Sharp has more white people. He's not in the black community. Donovan is more in the white community. That's what he says. That's what he deals with. And that's crazy because Donovan actually has a more white audience, which is why you see videos mainly of white people, unless he has personal stuff. That's why O'Shea will do a video that does that. Here's the thing. I mean, shit. So I guess niggas need to just listen to Rollo Tomasi because he's married. But then it becomes, how can you talk about Red Pill and still be married? That's the argument Rollo had to deal with. My thing about it is this. What I always say is this. If people need to be what they want to see, because all this yelling at the wind or saying stuff at the wind about what people are doing, understand something. People are I'm a marketer. People are going to do what they want to do. There's
No,
times
I get
where
it.
I'd be like, I shouldn't
not-
have to market to somebody this
Yeah, but
way
Edward,
because this
that's
is
not
some
my whole.
bullshit.
That's not my point.
Hold on,
My-
AR, you got to let him finish his point. Sorry.
He been going on for 40
What it
minutes.
is
He
they're
goes on and
filing
cut
all
you
these
off.
complaints. Like you didn't file these complaints with eBlack.
Yeah, bro. Talk for 20 minutes straight.
Dude,
Go ahead.
I literally got to stop watching one. So I'm not me talking 20 minutes straight. But my thing is, dude, if you want to see something different, you need to be what you want to see. That's all I'm saying. Yet saying what all these dudes are doing, because what happens is this is where the lame and goofy talks about and the hating part comes from black people. People, whether they're black or whoever, they don't care. They want to see what they want to see. They want to especially with the internet age, they want to gravitate towards people that they want to gravitate towards. So the thing where it's saying, well, you shouldn't listen to this, is better to understand why people do what they do and then be able to kind of see how can you pull that more in a better direction that they feel gives them what they want. I have this thing called frequently asked questions. And then I have this, well, that's not me, but then I have this thing that piggybacks off that should ask questions, which are things that people should be asking that they didn't know they needed. And so what I want to tell you is I typically don't tell people, don't look. I can't stand Tommy Sotomayor. I can't stand that motherfucker. Yet I literally told people on my channel, I'll say this and I'll be done for right now. If you fuck with Tommy, you don't fuck with me multiple times. And my people beat me out. They didn't leave. And they stopped talking about Tommy as much, but there's still people are still there. Even people that used to super chat me, I used to say that too. And so at the end of the day, people are going to do what they're going to do. And you have to reach into what they're already doing and try to guide it a little differently. And then they may take it, they may not, and take the ego out of it versus saying, why is this, why is that? Go ahead.
This topic is about the Black Manosphere, right? And my particular question is that black people that made millions off of black people in the black community, the leaders of that, they don't live the lifestyle that they're promoting. And they're making a lot of money off of black people.
Okay, so what are you going to do about it?
Okay, so you're not going to address. So what I'm actually saying, right? Like we said, Kevin Samuels, he speaks a lot. His main goal is to get black men and women to get married, but he's not married himself. He cannot produce a successful marriage. So
okay.
Well, wait, you don't know that he wasn't working on that before he passed, though. You don't know that he was dating. So you don't know if he was vetting women to do that. Because
again, a lot of black men, a lot of black women are not even getting married.
About getting remarried, so you don't know that.
But he didn't do it though.
Okay, so what are you going to do? No, my thing is, because at some point you pointed it out, if nobody cares, because you have a right to talk, you don't have a right to be heard. When I say that, and what I'm trying to impress upon you is, if people fuck with Kevin Samuels, it's not like Kevin Samuels hid the fact that he wasn't married though. That was something that was very obvious, that was known. And that was known before he ever blew up. Kevin never presented himself. The closest thing Kevin got in trouble for was, I think, the degree shit. But other than that, Kevin never presented himself as a married man.
May I interject?
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Please. Go ahead, Polar Bear.
Sure. So, and just as a caveat, I'm neither an advocate for nor a detriment towards Kevin Samuels. He and I do have some similarities. We were both in our 50s. I'm 57. I've been married twice. He was married twice. So, in as much as that, we have commonality. Okay. I do believe, how can I say this? Even if a person has been in a marriage and then divorced, they may not have the best ability to say what makes an excellent marriage and to keep it going. But they can definitely say, these are the few things I think I did right, or that I liked what my spouse did. But these are some of the things that will end your marriage or cause disturbances. Because I could name a few things that either I did or my spouses did that led to divorce. And so that can be helpful, just knowing what the pitfalls might be. Now, does it say that I know how to advocate on what makes a long-term marriage? Unless I'm advertising what my parents did or one of my siblings, I don't have personal experience otherwise. So I can't really say what to do to make it good. but I can tell you what not to do so it doesn't go bad. So is that a fair assessment?
So what I would
Yes.
want to see, I got dudes that in my space, shout out to Black Huru. He's married. He's been married for 30 years. He's married to a Black woman. He has nothing but daughters. He's from Chicago. Shout out to Black Huru. And Black Huru agreed with a lot of things, with most things Kevin said. I can actually put, so my question, what I would like to see, if you want a video that's addressing what you're trying to address, I would want videos of dudes that were, keep in mind, Anton is like one of the biggest creators, at least on the dude side.
I don't
That
want.
I'm just
you to
saying,
address
he's
what I
married,
said.
he's been married, and he advocated for a lot of what Kevin Samuels had to say. So what I would like to see, to go back to what you were saying, is a video of a panel or a video of a couple of dudes that are married currently, and they gotta be for more, in my opinion, I would say let's do more than 10 years. Shout out to the lead attorney who said that really that's when you really can say something about marriage. You know, that's when you've been through some stuff and you've earned that 10 years. I would like to see what is it about what Kevin was saying that they don't agree with. That's what I would like to see.
Can I ask AR a question real quick? Okay,
Yeah,
AR.
you said answer my question. Go ahead.
Oh, I yield that to Edward for that one. So, but I'm gonna ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, taking what you're saying about Kevin Samuels, so would you say that because I have been a single mother, that I could not talk to other women that are single not to become a single mother, or tell them how to be a good woman, how to become feminine, how to be a good wife, because I've been a single mother in the past?
No, you can, but being a single mother.
What's the difference between Kevin?
What I'm saying to you, being a single mother, you can't undo that, right? You already had the child. You can get married and get a stepfather, but that process of you being a single mother, that's already happened.
So what's this marriages?
Hold on. So
okay,
when you start to create different courses, or you start to have a lot of people behind you, and you're becoming a leader in that. I'm not just only doing YouTube, but I'm talking about you're becoming a leader in that field, and you're claiming to be an expert in that field. You got to start producing some results.
So you just don't believe in people have a right to choose this shit for themselves. You believe that somebody should be king, because that's what happened. Like Kevin didn't have any advantages. I'm just saying, Kevin Kevin's channel did not have any advantages over anybody else.
No, what I'm saying is that I believe the Black community is so easily to be fooled, like people like Umar Johnson, all those donations. What I'm saying is that people don't have the credentials that they're speaking of, and we don't require no credential. We're just like, fuck it, as long as it sounds good, let's take it. I mean, they couldn't do it themselves, so somehow I can do it.
Oh, okay. So my thing is the people that I typically, first of all, I wasn't even promoting. Like, I don't know where this Kevin Samuels trigger came from, because I was just throwing a name out there.
That was my question. Hold on, can you hear me or no? Is my microphone working?
No, what it is what you're doing is you're monologuing. We hear you. You don't like the fact. You don't like the fact that these guys are making millions of dollars, and it upsets you. I get it. I don't need to hear it 30 times.
No. You literally came on here and you just started talking. You started promoting your show. And come on. I mean, like, you talking way more than I am, and I'm actually asking a question and answer it, and you're cutting in the middle trying to express yourself. I don't have a problem with anybody making money. I believe in people making money. I have an issue with people they can't do it themselves in their own personal life, but they're telling you can do it. They are the professionals, but they're saying that I can't do it, but I'm going to get you to pay me, and you do it. You do it. I'm the professional, but I can't do it, but you can do it. And that's why I believe the Black community is so messed up, because people are spending money on people who can't produce results themselves.
Sure.
Respond to exactly that. No, that's not an opinion. That's a fact. Respond to just that without giving me a life story.
Your opinion is noted.
Okay, so
I really don't gotta respond to shit. I mean, my video. First of all, I don't owe you shit. Let's be very clear about that. Number two, you got a whole. You got a whole. Like no, because my thing is, you got a whole female industrial complex over these things. Like on the female side. And at the end of the day, man, I did not select Kevin Samuels. I did not king me. I talk about Black culture. I talk about these things, and I talk about what people should do. And so at the end of the day, nigga, like, what do you like? I'm supposed to be all black people and I'm supposed to answer to the God that is you. You want to say there's a lot of problems that black people have. Yes, they are more emotionally gravitated towards things versus logical. But let's be very clear here. The reality is somebody that's married for 30 years, let's keep this for real. You would sit there and you would be played by somebody that said, oh, I've been married for 30 years, so I could tell you about marriage. The truth is, these motherfuckers been married for 30 years can't tell you shit about the bitches that we deal with today because they got married before the internet. The stuff that the women that we're dealing with today are completely different than the women that we were dealing with yesteryear. And anybody will tell you that. Even blue pill, red pill, black pill, women, they're not the same women. 30 years ago, the single motherhood rate was a lot lower. It was the expectations. Hell, 30 years ago, women didn't want to give head. Black women. That was something that white girls did. So the reality is we live in a completely different market. And this is one of the critiques that people gave Anton. And Anton has actually gotten better about it once he's had an opportunity to talk to these chicks and see what dudes are talking about. So if you got a dude that tries to lead off with, I've been married for 50 years and I'm a black man. So basically you got married right after Jim fucking Crow. So which is a completely different environment. That's like 2 or 3 environments. You got married before the crack era. And you want to tell me about the women we're dealing with in social media. No, but that's what I'm trying to communicate. What I'm trying to communicate to you is your linchpin is that marriage, how long you've been married means you just automatically mean there's other factors in that.
I said that. I've never listen. I specifically clearly said you have black people that are in the black community that are catering to black people because black people are easily to be fooled. It's easy to make money off just gather their emotions, right? So I said that you have people like that are making millions, a lot of money off of black people, and they haven't produced it, not just on social media. We're talking about even civil rights activists. We're talking about a lot of people who are making a lot of money and they can't produce the results themselves, but they're selling these courses and they're doing stuff like that. So speak on exactly that.
Is this what y'all been talking about the whole time? Is that?
Before you came on, this is what we were speaking on. The
so
black
what
man.
Dude, understand something. I'm gonna tell you this, dude. It's not that I can't answer it, but nigga, I'm not.
So
because who the fuck are you? With all due respect, I've answered this question like 3 times, 3 different times. Nigga, no. And you just gonna have to hold that.
Yeah, I hold that. I mean, we're online, we're on panel. People want to.
I'm just saying, like, nigga,
with their high pitched voice, and that's fine. I get it.
Okay, let's reset the conversation. I think look. First of all, my power went out, so I'm switching to my phone. But I think we're gonna end this stream. So. Thanks, Ed. I wish you would have been on a little longer, but I understand you got a life to live outside of YouTube, I guess.
I mean, I said I could be on here 30. It hasn't been 30 or 40 minutes yet. So, I mean, if you got a question to ask me, because the email you sent me was not why are other... Here's another thing. I'm not making money.
You'll say all that shit, but you won't.
I'm not making money on this shit. So, nigga, you ask the niggas that are making the money, because I ain't. I'm not making all this money talking shit. I got 3,000 fucking videos. So hold on, but that's the thing. You're talking to people you can reach. Like, I'm not making money. So don't ask me to speak on niggas making fucking money when I'm not making anywhere near that kind of money.
You just spoke on niggas that's married for 30 years. Dude,
stop. I'm not your customer service representative. I am not your customer service representative. Let it go. Can you?
You got more estrogen or what the fuck?
Do you have nigga? You the one that can't let it go.
Slow down.
You talking about niggas making money, all this other shit? Let it go.
Yeah, black people are making money off.
Okay, it's gonna happen. It's not gonna stop. There's nothing you clearly can do about it.
You're saying a lot of shit, but you can't speak on what I'm saying.
Because nigga, who the fuck are you?
But you're speaking to me, but you can't answer or
no. I can. I'm just not going to. and it's
I know
bothering me.
because I'm just this man, and I'm a strong black man, and
You doing
niggas.
all of this over
Come on,
with other
bro.
niggas' money that are
Come
making
on.
that are not on this
Come
panel.
on. I asked you a simple. I asked Miss Tyler simple questions. I know I'm gonna say out with the men. I thought I was talking to a man. I didn't know this fucking LGBTQ
Oh, okay,
fucking
that's
community.
where we're going. Very high
They
school.
are. Oh,
You sound like you. That's what you sound like. I'm asking you a particular question, and you're doing something.
So
about
because
white
I
people.
told you that I wasn't gonna answer it, because technically I've
You're
answered
saying,
it a couple of
you're
times.
saying you spoke for like
Yeah,
20
now
minutes
you're
about
getting
everything
loud. Now you're
else,
getting up. Now
but you
you're
won't speak
upset.
on what I'm talking about.
Now you're upset.
I'm not. We're speaking about. We're on the panel.
No,
We're speaking
we're
about something.
nigga.
And you give
What
me a
we're doing is we're
whole.
gossiping about other motherfuckers watching their
No,
pockets, and that's actually not what the email
we're
I got
speaking
from
about. We're
eBlack
speaking
that we
about
were
the
going to
black
talk about.
community. No problem. So
No,
talk.
I apologize. But look, Ed, you inspired me to do a great subject in regards to anti-manosphere content. Is there anything else you want to talk about in regards to that? Because I really think that I don't understand why we have people openly saying they're against men having a collective ideology or even space, or saying that they're
Well, that's not what they're saying. What they're saying is that the space is kind of like not that different in what the interaction I've just dealt with. That we're not talking about what the fuck they should be talking about. Like, it's people in the space saying that I'm anti the Black Manosphere, not because they're anti-collective, because the Black Manosphere isn't talking about what they're supposed to be talking about. So rather than dudes create, just like how you, eBlack, created a channel around what you wanted to talk about and ran it the way you wanted to run it, these guys, some of them are doing it, but others are not. They'd rather just talk about what we ain't doing and talk about what they are doing.
Could you answer this question from Courtney?
Why would you even ask me that? Yes, I consider myself Black Manosphere. I mean, everybody knows that, but okay.
I have a question, Ed. So earlier, eBlack was saying like how a lot of the people that were, because I'm learning, so I'm like a baby in this Manosphere stuff. So bear with me. So he's saying that a lot of people are like announcing that they're leaving the Manosphere. Like,
That's a publicity stunt.
what is that like something that?
There's a couple of reasons why people do that. Reason number one is they get tired of niggas doing this. You ain't doing what the fuck I think you should be doing shit. And dudes be like, like with Dennis. Dennis is like the most recent person to do that. Dennis had a whole fan page, a Facebook page on Facebook before he ever came to YouTube. He has a power base there. Dennis basically shared that within a YouTube channel, his experience, his stuff about fatherhood, his stuff when it comes to marriage and not marriage, and him about to get married again. His experience as somebody that's traveled, that's been in Dominican Republic, that's living that life, all these things, right? And you got dudes that basically were saying, well, you're not qualified because X, Y, Z. Keep in mind, this is a 6'4" lawyer that literally comes from the jungle of LA. Anybody knows what the jungle is. So this is a get yourself up by the bootstraps, become an attorney at law, and he shows what I liked about Dennis is he shows his sons about how he trains them, teaches them manhood and stuff like that. And a lot of guys gravitate towards that, which is why he affiliated really close to Kevin Samuels. A lot of that audience like that. But you got dudes that, let's just say, they don't live that life or that's not their experience. They want to say he's a fraud or he's this, he's that. And Dennis is like, you know what? I'm not a part of this space. And I don't know if he's doing that just to see what people are going to do or whatever. And there's been other reasons. Other reasons it's more advantageous to grow. But at the end of the day, whether they claim the Black Manosphere or not, the content is what matters. What helping Black men is what matters. And what you don't need to have a card carry. Okay, if that's why she asked it, Courtney, I understand why you asked it. But because that has been going on. But whether it's El Guapo, whether it's MTR, because let's remember MTR was attacked by a white female and started losing sponsorships. So if you notice, these people are still making the same content. And sometimes this is the advantage of the Black Manosphere. The advantage of our space is you can't find a leader. You can't just target one person. That was actually going to slightly change with Kevin, but Kevin wasn't necessarily the leader. He was just the most seen. And so with that being said, you can't target any one person. So it's harder to take to decapitate the space. But dudes
Mhm.
have their own individual reasons for doing that. And usually it's because they're tired of some bullshit or they want to go in a different direction.
Now, the other point I was asking E was, and then I'm gonna step down and let you gentlemen have it. When I asked him about is there like some, because I asked him, I was like, is this like a LLC or corporation? Because I had no idea, so forgive me.
No, it's not. It's just it's just, folks gathering together. It's
Yeah.
no different than like when Black women don't really consider feminism
Mhm.
or something like that an organization. It's not like the,
Mhm.
the Greek organizations where it's a
Yeah.
formal induction. It's more a mindsets and similar mindsets. And the truth is the Black manosphere is a spectrum of mindsets. It's a spectrum of stuff. You've got SYSBM, which is more
Mhm.
family oriented, but they're more their culture first. Race doesn't come into play, which is why they're
Mhm.
controversial. Passport bros, some of them dudes are finding a wife. Some of them about living their best life.
So the Passport Bros are a part of the Manosphere?
Yes.
Okay. So, and my last question, I promise y'all. When I was asking eBlack about the who's in charge type question, because I remember when Fresh and Fit made Kevin and O'Shea mad. And I remember a couple of times when O'Shea did a clip or something of what was going on during that time, that they were going to boot them out or you boot them out of the Manosphere or like cut them
Yeah,
off
it's
or
an
something like
influence.
that. So
It's
that's why
not
I'm
who
asking
has
the
more
question:
control.
who's
Mhm.
really like who are like the OGs of the
Well,
Manosphere
it's
type thing?
really, it's more, the thing is, it's more influence versus who's the leaders. And
Okay.
so, but I will say this, the way it's
Mhm.
looked at is there's pre-manosphere, and that goes all the way back. That goes way back. We just had this conversation. That goes way back. That goes back in the early 2000s. That's how far
Mhm.
back that goes. And then where there's people here that can trace that. It also goes as far back as like Blog Talk Radio, if
Mhm.
people remember that. But you have pre-manosphere, then you have what's called manosphere 1.0. You don't see a lot of these guys anymore because they were exterminated. They were exterminated by YouTube and the feminists, and they got attacked. And there was even women that were a part of that too.
Okay.
Then you have out of that, which is called 2.0.
Mhm.
2.0 is kind of where I came in, kind of the SWP. If any of y'all know Sergeant Willie P, he's one of the few people that's still active from 1.0. 2.0 is the controllers of that were BGS Idmore, O'Shea Duke Jackson,
Mhm.
Angry Man, and Obsidian. And
Okay.
they collabed until they didn't, and then that went that way. And
Mhm.
folks became enemies for various reasons. Asked them, and O'Shea kind of popped up. BGS grew, but BGS got kind of shadow banned by YouTube because he was talking about a lot of geopolitical stuff that like folks
Mhm.
did not want out there. So he was at 40 something thousand subs, and he just now started growing again. O'Shea grew and did stuff he did. Angry Man has grown, but he just now blew up. Crimson Cure comes from Angry Man's camp,
Yeah.
you know.
I
Yeah.
love it.
So and Obsidian is at 25, and yeah. So those were like the principal controllers. Then you had like 3.0 is when you got some of the more newer stuff. And really Kevin kind of blew up in what I would call more like 4.0. And then you had
Mhm.
all of these channels that kind of offset or benefited from Kevin's stuff, like Mediocre Tutorial Views, Poor Man. They're not in the Manosphere, but they grew heavily. So
Mhm.
you have the Black Manosphere, which are a collection of recognized channels, and then
Mhm.
you have or affiliated channels with their kind of side, and then you have what's called like Black Male YouTube, which is far more vast. That's when you can put in Tariq Sheen, Jason Black, which who can't stand the Black Manosphere, by the way. That Tommy, because Tommy never claimed the Black Manosphere. He just thought we were just some niggas leeching off of him, which is not true. But
Mhm.
anyway, it goes far beyond that. There's like literally, I've mapped it out. There's thousands of channels. If you look
So
at like,
basically, it's like there was a foundation of a gang, and then now you just have all these sects all over the place.
well, you could call them sets. I mean, it depends. Like Lead Attorney is like his own. I call them clusters. I mean,
Mhm.
these are people that collab with each other. I mean, just like with the women, there's people that collab with each other. There's people that collab around Courtney's content. There's people that
Yes.
collab around Danica Marie, Chantel Simone's. There's people that
Mhm.
collab around Let's Abort Black Male Babies, like Cynthia G and Paris
Mhm.
Milan. and you know, there's clusters, and you wouldn't associate like Courtney with like Cynthia G. So there's clusters, and the thing now, I will say this, and I will, and I'll leave it. The issue with YouTube, when you hear a lot of these complaints, and I'm not talking about what the dude was saying on here. I'm not talking about you, Eric. I'm talking about like Gerald, is the algorithm controls what you see. Even when you subscribe to people and you can put that bell on, the YouTube algorithm controls a lot of what you see, right? Because their premier job is to get you watching more. So a lot of people complain there's not enough productivity videos in this space. Well, the reality is, it based on what you click and watch. You know, black women complain about password bros too. It's because the algorithm is learning that you interact with the content, whether it's good or bad, you're interacting with it. So what I would tell people, if anybody has this thing about you think the space is not showing you enough productive stuff, what I would say is create either another Gmail account, or if you go into settings, you can create another YouTube account channel within your same Gmail, and then only subscribe to channels that you deem are productive in that channel. And that way, the YouTube machine learning will feed you maybe channels you didn't know about from that. So if you say, okay, I want to talk about eBlack or Chaotic Truth or the Lapid, you know, or whatever, you know, it's going to show you people based on that, even if they're small. And what happens is people have their YouTube accounts for a long time and they don't click not interested. They don't do the nips and tucks that you need to do to tell the algorithm move. So
I have actually have 3 different ones. So because like each one has different.
I have one just for food.
So I agree. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave the gentlemen. You guys stay up here with y'all masculine and toxic masculinity. The feminine energy is going to lead the panel. Thank you, eBlack. I'll talk to you later. Thank you, Edward. I've subscribed to your channel, so I will be over there visiting. AR, behave. Polar Bear, nice to see you again. Bye, guys.
All right, Miss Ty. All right.
But hey, on that note, because we have a power outage in my area, I'm on in the show. I appreciate everybody who showed up. Thank you, Ed, once again. You're always gracious like you can be. AR, Polar Bear, we out of here, y'all.
Hey, eBlack, quick question.
All right, take care. All right, take care.
No.
Where are you in?
Huh?
What city are you in?
Nah, bye, Polar Bear.
Bye.